Hello and welcome to another vlog on this channel. Welcome here once again. If you've not subscribed, kindly do. It's free. You don't have to pay anything for that. But if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for being here. Now, some months ago, I took a series on this same channel titled Figuring It Out, and I was sharing some of the questions that I've asked myself on becoming an adult or this adulting process. And even though I ended that series like kind of without a conclusion, I think I probably just did most of what I was inspired to do within that time. So if you've not watched that series, kindly do. Let me know how that series means to you, or just what you have taken from it, or your thoughts on it. I'm waiting in the comment section. Okay, thank you. So before I continue, I would always like to give the disclaimer. I am not a licensed psychologist or psychiatrist. I am a licensed doctor, so it means that I can give you a level of advice or counseling, but at the same time, I also want you to know that you have the responsibility to do a deeper research and go get more information so that you can make your own personal decision on what to listen to. It's imperative that I do that. If the Lord permits, and if my heart tugs me in that direction, maybe, who knows, I could decide to become a psychiatrist. I could decide to specialize there, but until then, this is disclaimer stands. Now, have you experienced emotional fatigue or mental fatigue? Is that a terminology that you've tried to make sense of or you can identify with? Now, I'm just going to give my own interpretation of those terms, and by the way, these are not from medical textbooks, or I would not say these are medical terminologies. These are basically my own understanding, my personal understanding. I believe so much that when you try to make a personal understanding of something, it makes it more, it sinks in more to you, like you get to appreciate it more. Now, for me, I see emotional fatigue as a point where you are literally tired of expressing any form of emotion, more or less like you're emotionally tired. So it's like a state where you are not able to like really express your emotions as you should. Maybe like more like an over, like it's more like a stretch, when like you gotten to your limit emotionally. So probably this may be because you are an emotional person, and probably situation of life has made you like overexpress, or you've gone through a lot of like emotional trauma where you are unable to like express any further. I'm like, this is my breaking point. So it's more like you're emotionally tired. And then mental fatigue, I'll take it as a point where you're actually tired of thinking. You're actually tired of making decisions. You're actually tired of like going through any form of mental process. And that is probably because you've gone through a lot of personal stress that just like you just don't have the energy anymore. Okay, so I put mental fatigue together, and that's how I would personally define it as. Now, as somebody who sort of takes a lot of pleasure and joy from being meaningful and purposeful, I've always pursued doing things that I feel are very worth my time. Like I can't, as from a tender age, I've always liked to be part of something very purposeful and meaningful. I have felt so surprised at myself that as I grew older, I know I came to a point where okay, I have more opportunity to make my own decision, to take more responsibilities. I realized that I just got much more tired with wanting to do something meaningful. It's like I just felt many times that I wanted to take a break. And now the problem I had with feeling this way is the fact that it's just continued to become more frequent than it had been prior to, my current state. It's more like even these are things that I've had, and it's normal at some point. You may just feel okay, I need a break, I need to take a break. I just realized it was becoming more frequent for me. I was frequently feeling like I needed to take a break. Now, if you are following me on my podcast, you realize that I actually took a break from the beginning of 2024, and I'm like, I don't think I have the energy anymore to post podcasts regularly. And after I made that, podcast and I listened to it over and over again. In podcast, I tried to still put a clause because I knew that I was still at that point where I was trying to properly reflect if this was because I was literally tired or if I felt God was asking me to take a pause. And therefore, I wanted to leave that clause that came probably along the line. I may feel much better, I may get myself back, and I'll be able to make a podcast because I didn't want to make a final tone on that. And the more I keep on learning and I keep on, understanding myself and my process, I realize that, this has to be something I have to consciously make a decision about. And I'm appreciating the fact that being an adult means continually deciding to make a right decision, continually deciding to do something right, even when it doesn't feel like that is what you want to do. And as a Christian, it means choosing God's will even when I don't feel like it, even when I don't feel like this is what I want to do, even when I'm like, oh God, I'm tired. Can I have to get a break? But like you're at the point where, okay, nobody is going to come and live your life for you. Nobody is going to come and like save you from yourself. Like Jesus has already saved you from sin, but nobody's going to come and rescue you from the things that you are responsible for. You can't cause you run away from your responsibilities and the responsibility of seeking out God's will for your life and walking in them. Now, as per emotional fatigue, people may not believe it, or most people, some people that know me, or not even really know me, some people may not think I'm emotional, but sometimes I feel like I have to continually say it out. I'm quite an emotional person, and one of the things that I've had to continually present before God has been my emotional self. And funny enough, I may not express outwardly, but you just know how much I express in private. But yes, I got to the point where I really felt emotionally fatigued because I'm faced daily with the realities of being alive and being a human being and relating with people and regulating emotions and oh my goodness, can somebody give me a break? But the word of God stands sure, and the word of God has said, He's there for the weary-hearted. He's there for the broken-hearted. He's pleased in the broken-hearted resting on Him. Jesus Christ said that, come unto me, those that are heavy laden, that are burdened, and I will give you rest. Take of me my own yoke, my own responsibility is not heavy like the one you've put upon yourself. I see control all through the word of God how God is there for those who are exhausted. And then taking an example from one of my favorite Bible character who I so much want to meet, King David. He set a template for me in how I relate with God. And I see how David was continually very expressive and open about his dealings and how he felt. And how God never bashed him for that. You get even Job, that God had to correct at some point. God, did not punish them for expressing themselves. And more so, I continue to add that to my life that I can be vulnerable with God. He's not going to break my heart. And even in times where I don't understand what's happening, God is still my safest place. So no matter what, I know I'm going to get clarity with time. So I don't know if you've ever been there, and probably this vlog is coming at a point probably to encourage you or to make you feel like you are not alone. One of the things I realized in my walk with God in this Christian journey is that the best person to lie to me is myself. So the better my life would be, the better it is I tell myself. The better I tell myself the truth, the better my life would be. And if God already knows everything, what else am I trying to hide? I can't hide anything from Him because He knows everything. So as He has said that He's there for me, when I'm emotionally fatigued, when I'm mentally drained, I can always rest in God and I can always trust Him to get me through every phase. I may not know the future I may not know exactly how things will turn out to be. But yes, I know I have a part to play, and that part is in trusting God. And that is in continually just, regardless of where I am, how I feel, what state I am, to always just, lean back, in prayer. I recently shared something on Twitter that it was a revelation I got last year that, prayer is putting God in my thoughts. So as much as I can worry, I can be sad, I can, be emotionally fatigued or mentally fatigued, I can put God in my thoughts. So I can find space for God. And one of the things I've also had to accept is that what the devil tries to do in this our moment, in this moment of a mental fatigue or emotional fatigue, is to make you feel like there is no good in the world. There is no joy to experience. There's nothing good to have, or you can't hope for something good. There's no good place to experience love or to show emotions. But that's not true. That's not true. There is always still more love to experience, joy to experience. There's more peace to have. There's more laughter to give. There's so much more to still look forward to, even when it doesn't look like. And with hope, I can expect that with God, all will be well. So, if this blessed you, let me know. If you have other thoughts on this, let me know. If there will be more that we share on this topic, maybe I may do that. But if not, yeah, this is where I'm going to end. And Jesus is there for us. And when you don't get overwhelmed. I'm saying this to you and saying that to myself. Don't be so overwhelmed. Yeah, sometimes it may feel like the experience you are having that are not good are back to back. But more so, I know that in the sunshine, in the rain, God is there for us. And what is God teaching me through this experience? What am I meant to develop? How is He meant to equip me? Much more than how much am I allowing it to destroy me? Like Joseph told his brothers, what you meant for evil for me, God meant it for good. So it's not a matter of trying to be emotional, like behave as though nothing gets to you or you are so good in yourself. No, that is not, like, you still break down. If that breakdown is going to happen, it's going to happen. So um it's not denying how you feel or what is going on at that point. It's accepting that this is actually happening, but it's not allowing it to determine the entirety of your life and of your future. So yes, I've already told you. If this blessed you, let me know. So what are your thoughts? Please share them in the comment section. I'll be very willing to respond to all of them. And if this also blessed you, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and don't also forget to share it with people around you that you know. It will bless and encourage. So until next time on this channel, continue to stay safe and God bless. Bye bye.